welcome to Book Explorers. My name is Laura. I'm a librarian at the Denver Public Library. And today we are exploring the book The First Rule of Punk by Celia Pérez. I'm going to read a couple of pages where our main character, right here, Aloud, who loves punk music, she is at a new school and she's at back to school night. And so she's kind of navigating a new school. I had to do that once. I don't know about you, but you have to find new friends. And sometimes you meet people that you really don't want to be friends with. And for Aloud, that is Selena. So we're at back to school night, and let's see what happens. Over his shoulder, I could see Mom talking to Selena and a woman I assumed was her mother. "Oh no," I said. "I'd better go." "I'll see ya." "Yeah. Go rescue your mom," Joe said, turning to look. "I should go find mine, too." I left Joe by the hanging trees and hurried over to Mom. "There you are," Mom said. "Come look at my tree, Mom." I hoped that she'd be so excited to check out my A that she'd want to leave Selena and her mom quickly. "Don't be rude, Maria Luisa. Aren't you going to say hello to your friend?" she asked, motioning to Selena. "And this is Selena's mother, Senora Ramirez." "Hi," I said, giving Senora Ramirez a strained smile while ignoring Selena. "Okay, Mom, let's go. The bell's about to ring." "Nice to meet you, Senora Morales," Selena said sweetly. "See you later, Maria Luisa." "It's Aloud," I said, and grabbed Mom's arm. I pulled her away as she said goodbye to Selena and her mother. "I hate to break this news to you, Mom," I said, "but Selena is not my friend." "She seems really nice. And did you know that she dances the huapango?" "Very impressive." "Huapa what?" "It's a traditional Mexican dance," Mom said. "You know, Malu, it wouldn't hurt you to make friends." "I have friends," I said. "Who?" Mom asked. A very good question. "Joe, Mrs. Hidalgo's kid," I said. "One friend is all this girl needs." Mom rolled her eyes. "Selena's mother runs her own dance school," Mom said. "I've always wanted to learn some traditional Mexican dances." "That's great, Mom," I said, still trying to move away from the topic of Selena. "Look, here's my tree." I told her that we'd signed up for a beginner's lesson. I stopped in my tracks. "We? When will we have this opportunity again?" Mom asked. "I want us to take advantage while we can." "But I don't want to do it," I said. "It would be fun for us to do this together, Malu," Mom said. "Think about it. It's just one lesson. Now, where's this tree?" I pointed to my tree and waited while Mom inspected it and read my essay. They did family trees for an assignment. "This is lovely, Malu." "Thanks," I mumbled and crossed my arms over my chest. "Are you going to be mad at me now?" she asked. I wasn't mad. I was furious and panicking at the thought of having to spend an afternoon outside of school with Selena. "Nice work on the tree," Mom said. "I wish you would have let me look over your essay before you turned it in." I got an A, didn't I? My sentences were short, and I spelled everything out exactly as it sounded using the information Mom and Dad had given me. I thought about having Mom check it over, but decided against it. I knew it would have given her too much pleasure. Plus, I didn't want to hear her criticize my Spanish. I could picture all the red pen marks on my paper, like I was one of her students. "I guess you did," Mom said. "But you know, I'm happy to help." "I know, Mom," I said. "Sounds like you're going to have a great school year." "Yeah," I said. "The awesomest." "I need to go to the restroom before we leave," Mom said, ignoring me. "I'll meet you out front." I was curious to see what grade Selena got on her tree. An A+, probably. So I walked along the back of the room looking at the trees in search of it. I noticed that almost all of the locations on the trees were either Chicago or Mexico, some California and Texas. Mine was the only one with a non-Spanish name. I was probably the only one in this class who couldn't dance a wappa whatever too. When I got to Selena's, I stopped. It looked like she had done a lot of work on it. There was a printout of a tree image with photos of family members superimposed on the branches. At the top was a photo of Selena smiling. The whole thing was printed in color on this fancy, shiny paper. Admiring my work, Selena asked. I'm looking at all of them, not just yours, I said. Selena leaned against the back of a chair. My mom says our family was here before the border, she said. All our families were here before the border, Joe said over her shoulder as he walked past. Selena sucked her teeth and swatted at him. He jumped out of her reach, laughing, and left the room. I wanted to call out for him not to abandon me. I hear you might be coming to the studio, Selena said. Not if I can help it, I replied. Yeah, it might be hard for you to get the hang of a Mexican dance, Selena said. I'd be nervous too. Whatever, I said. You don't know anything about me. You and your mom are so different, Selena went on. I guess I'm not surprised. My ears started to burn, and all of a sudden I felt hot all over. I had to get out of there, away from Selena, fast. Are you like your dad? Selena asked. Is he, No, I don't know. Is he a weirdo too? I turned away from the hanging trees and I left her standing alone. I couldn't believe Mom actually thought Selena and I would ever be friends. Mom was near the building's entrance, talking to Mrs. Hidalgo when I found her. I busied myself looking at the announcements on the bulletin board near the door. There were club flyers, the week's lunch menu, and even an ad for a student's dog walking business. And in the middle of it all was a sign-up sheet for the Fall Fiesta Talent Show. Auditions. I read down the list of names until I came to Selena Ramirez. At that moment, Joe walked up to get a drink from the water fountain. What's your talent? He asked. What's yours? I asked. Joe tried to rub his stomach and pat his head at the same time. With talent like that, what are you doing here? I asked and laughed. You should be on the road. Harsh, said Joe. So, are you signing up? I tapped my finger against Selena's name. What do you think she's gonna do? I asked. Dance? She's definitely dancing, Joe said. That's her thing. You play any instruments? I asked. Some guitar, a little piano, but I prefer the visual arts, Joe said. Why? I grabbed the pen that was hanging on a string next to the sign-up sheet and wrote my name on a blank line. Next to it, in parentheses, I wrote the word band. Because we are starting a band, I said. So if you'd like to read more, you can check out this book from the Denver Public Library. Thanks for joining us. Bye.